Creators are creating reels because they're fun to watch. They're also sometimes fun to make, but mostly because they're the fastest way to grow on Instagram, especially if you want to go viral. Here's how I'm going to tell you. I'm Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I share practical advice to build your brand. Today we are tackling Instagram Reels. Since Reels are one of Instagram's newer verticals on the platform, one might argue that Instagram wants you creating them. So they reward you when you create them. They reward you with exposure. If they're good, that's what everyone is after. So it's certainly true that Reels are the best way to get eyeballs on your content right now. But achieving virality, what does this mean? I researched this quickly on Wikipedia, and I don't have a concrete answer for you. I read that over 500,000 views might count as viral, or Wikipedia says, and I quote, if it gets more than 5 million views in a 3 to 7 day period, that counts as viral. That's from a source that's a few years old, so maybe that's accurate, maybe it's not. I'm not really sure there even is a concrete number. Maybe it's better to say viral is when your content gets seen by a lot more people than usual, a lot more people. That could be a few thousand or it could be a few million. It's different for every creator and it's relative. Now, I know we're talking about Reels and we'll get into that strategy in a second, but I have a TikTok video that went viral last year where I talk about 3 airplane meal hacks. When I first posted this, it had a few thousand views. About 3 days later, it picked up steam. My notifications were constant with a huge influx of followers and eventually tapered off around 4.5 million views. Now, I would call that viral. It certainly felt that way. So let's deconstruct what it takes. You're probably familiar with all of the actions that someone can take on Instagram. If not, here they are. Instagram takes note when people take a lot of these actions, particularly the last 3 and definitely the last one. By someone taking this single action, it's putting your content in front of the audiences someone else built when they share in a single click. That can also have a cumulative effect and fast. So you really want people sharing your post. So being aware of the actions that people take on Instagram and being clear on what action you hope or expect them to take, that's super crucial. What are some contributing factors to virality on Instagram? Well, let's go through some of them. We talked about shares. Now let's talk about something when someone watches your reel more than once. They rewatch it for some reason. Let's dig a bit further. Why might they rewatch your reel multiple times? Because it's fast-paced and people don't want to miss anything. Because it's so funny that people want another round of laughter, maybe. I know I'm certainly guilty of that, rewatching a reel because I find it hilarious. And then I share it probably with a friend. Or maybe it's so informative, packed with so much valuable information that people want another chance to absorb it. Those are all possibilities. I'm sure there are other reasons out there that I haven't listed. I know that creators who know exactly who their audience is, those creators can easily entice their viewers to watch more than once. Now, it feels like the right time to tell you about this, my handy little free worksheet to help you identify your target market, 6 simple questions that will help you make powerful conclusions on exactly who you should target, including for your reels. The link is below. It is totally free. This is my way of saying thanks for hanging out with me today. Now, a few really important themes raised just a moment ago, not just for multiple views, but for virality in general. So let's touch on those. I mentioned shares and multiple watches. Let's keep going. What about relevance? This is simply the idea that what you're posting is noteworthy, it's of interest to your audience, something timely, or something talked about in the news, or understood in general in today's culture. Another factor for virality, being relatable. I mentioned this a moment ago. Something relatable could be everyday struggles, funny or serious. Something you see and you go, yep, that's totally me. Or maybe it's something that you've even thought about but never vocalized, which is why seeing someone else talk about it is kind of wild and trippy. That's all about being relatable. Let's go through a few more. What about trends? Obviously, trends are hugely important on Instagram. This is actually a great opportunity to do some basic research. If you're not feeling inspired with what content to create, have a look at what trends people are hopping on, from audio tracks or music to physical trends or challenges popping up online. If you're aware of trends in your industry or your niche, you can incorporate them into your content to drive more views and interest. Now, I'll move quickly through just a few more elements of virality. Humor is a big one. People often open Instagram for an escape from the everyday. So if you can make people laugh, do it. If you can't, maybe don't try. Instead, lean on two other possibilities like educating them. This is a good option if trends feel overwhelming or the idea of incorporating humor isn't quite right for your brand. Instead, teach us something. We're curious for your perspective or your breakdown of something like I'm doing right now about Instagram for you. Tips, hacks, recipes, anything. When all else fails, tell us something we might be wondering or answer a question that your audience might have or something they often ask you. I have a folder on my computer where I save the best questions that I get asked online, and a lot of times I turn those into YouTube videos. I mentioned one more element of virality that you may not have thought about. Okay, there's one more that I'm going to cover. I'm calling this one aspiration or inspiration for that matter. How can you move or motivate someone? Share a transformation, for example. Make them feel something. That's certainly a contributor to virality, this idea of aspiration and inspiration. So there you go. There's my take on creating viral Instagram Reels. I pointed out a few of the most important considerations and elements to incorporate into your own content creation practice. Once again, I've linked to my free Identify Your Target Market worksheet below. Go ahead and check that out. If you've got any lingering questions, comment below. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. I respond to those personally. And if you enjoyed this video, a new look and a new thumbnail style we're experimenting over here, do give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which we work hard to create for you, and definitely share your feedback on my latest videos. Subscribe if you want for more videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. Next, I'll share a few Instagram-related videos that I think you'll be interested in. I'm Pallen. Thanks for watching, and those videos I mentioned, those are coming up next.